For years, Russian commanders felt secure behind dense air defenses and deep supply hubs, certain no U.S. missile could strike without warning. That confidence shattered when the United States quietly delivered one of its deadliest precision weapons, the Army Tactical Missile System, to Ukraine. Now, this long-range missile is punching holes in Russia's rear defenses. What makes Army Tactical Missile System so dangerous? Why did Washington hesitate to send it? And how did this Cold War design become a modern battlefield game-changer? Grab a coffee, and maybe a helmet as we find out. A weapon designed to hit hard and hit smart. Army Tactical Missile System isn't your average artillery shell. It's a precision-guided ballistic missile that can reach up to 300 kilometers, 186 miles, with chilling accuracy, sometimes landing within just 10 meters of its target. To put that in perspective, it's like tossing a dart from 3 football fields away and still hitting the bullseye. Unlike traditional artillery that pounds a general area and hopes for the best, Army Tactical Missile System is designed to hit one very specific, very unlucky spot. The missile carries a hefty warhead weighing nearly 227 kilograms, 500 pounds, and has a kill radius of about 80 meters, which is far more destructive than standard 155mm shells. Yet what makes it truly sneaky is how it's launched. Army Tactical Missile System fires from the same ground systems Ukraine already uses: the tracked M270 launcher and the truck-based HIMARS. These vehicles normally shoot smaller rockets in packs of 6, but Army Tactical Missile System is so large it takes up an entire pod by itself. The clever part? The pods look exactly the same from the outside. So Russian observers staring at satellite photos or drone feeds have no idea whether a launcher is carrying short-range rockets or a long-range precision missile with their name on it. Surprise! A gift that took years to arrive. Ukraine asked for Army Tactical Missile System almost from the first days of the full-scale invasion. The answer from Washington, however, was a polite but firm no. The reasons were complicated. The Pentagon feared that giving Kyiv a missile capable of hitting deep into Russia could provoke dangerous escalation. Stockpiles were another issue. The US doesn't have endless numbers of these missiles, and planners wanted to save them for potential conflicts with China or Iran. Adding to the hesitation was the fact that Army Tactical Missile System hasn't been mass-produced in over a decade. Restarting large-scale manufacturing would be like trying to resurrect a discontinued smartphone model, except this phone costs $1.5 million and blows things up. But in September 2024, everything changed quietly. According to reports, President Joe Biden privately promised Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky a limited number of Army Tactical Missile System during a closed-door White House meeting. Officially, the Pentagon stayed silent. No flashy press release, no dramatic delivery photos. Yet anonymous officials leaked enough details to make it clear something had shifted. Many analysts believe the US finally felt comfortable parting with some of its aging missiles because their replacement, the Precision Strike missile, is now entering service. Out with the old, in with the slightly deadlier. Fast, deadly, and hard to stop. Part of Army Tactical Missile System's appeal is sheer speed. Unlike cruise missiles such as Britain's Storm Shadow, which take their time weaving through the air like a very expensive Uber ride, Army Tactical Missile System launches from the ground, rockets skyward, and then plummets onto its target at supersonic speeds. By the time Russian radar spots it, there's often no time to scramble a defense. The missile's brain is equally impressive. Early versions relied purely on inertial navigation, which, even without satellites, could hit within about 50 meters at maximum range. Not bad for 1980s technology. A major upgrade in 1996 added GPS guidance, shrinking the error margin to less than 25 meters. Some early variants carried cluster munitions that scattered hundreds of bomblets across a wide area, but most modern versions use a single, massive explosive warhead. It's cleaner, more precise, and a lot less controversial internationally. And yes, each shot costs over $1.5 million, but when that single shot can wipe out a heavily defended command post or grounded aircraft, military planners tend to think it's money well spent. Born in the Cold War, raised in chaos. The story of Army Tactical Missile System is almost as dramatic as its impact today. Back in the late 1970s, NATO faced the terrifying prospect of massive Soviet tank armies rolling across Europe. The alliance's main plan to stop them was to use tactical nuclear weapons, a strategy that felt, even at the time, a bit like putting out a kitchen fire with a hand grenade. So, US strategists developed a new doctrine called air-land battle, which focused on striking Soviet forces deep behind the front lines before they could overwhelm NATO defenses. This vision needed a long-range, highly accurate missile. Enter Army Tactical Missile System, though getting it built was anything but smooth. The missile's earliest roots were in a secretive DARPA program called Assault Breaker, an effort to make dumb rockets smart with new sensors and guidance systems. Technological breakthroughs such as the ring laser gyroscope came out of this project, proving long-range precision strikes were possible. But inter-service rivalry nearly killed the program. The Air Force wanted a stealthy, bomber-launched version. The Army wanted a rugged, ground-launched missile for frontline troops. The two sides squabbled over size, features, and secrecy until 1984 when the project split. The Army took control of its own version, finally moving forward without Air Force meddling. Even then, production faced near disaster. In the early 1990s, one key supplier suddenly dropped out, threatening to collapse the entire program. A quick-thinking project manager scrambled to find a new partner, saving Army Tactical Missile System from becoming an expensive cautionary tale. By the time of Operation Desert Storm in 1991, the missile was ready, and it did not disappoint. The first 32 launched in combat reportedly hit every target, earning it the cheeky nickname a TNT, reach out and touch someone, a missile that outlived its time. Ironically, just as the Army Tactical Missile System proved its worth, the US stopped making it. Production ended in 2007 as America focused on counterinsurgency wars where long-range missiles were less useful and too costly. For nearly a decade, no new units rolled out. To keep stocks usable, the Army launched a service life extension program in 2016, refurbishing older missiles with fresh propellant and modern electronics. Still, time wears down rocket motors and explosives. Many early models have been retired, leaving an estimated 1,400 to 1,500 missiles, though the exact number is secret. Meanwhile, global demand exploded. Allies from South Korea to Australia kept Lockheed Martin's production line busy. In 2022 alone, 500 Army Tactical Missile System were built, none for the US Army. Scaling up isn't easy either. The missile relies on a complex supply chain across 29 states and 130 specialty suppliers where even one delayed part can halt production. Changing the game in Ukraine. For Ukraine, the arrival of the Army Tactical Missile System is a game changer. Until now, its longest-range Western weapon, the Guided Multiple Launch Rocket System, could only reach about 80 kilometers. That was fine for frontline fights, but useless against Russian airfields, command centers, and depots hidden deep in the rear. Britain's Storm Shadow missiles helped, but they require aircraft launches, careful planning, and take longer to reach their targets. Army Tactical Missile System is different. It fires from launchers Ukraine already has, can be readied in minutes, and hits so fast that stopping it is like trying to swat a bullet mid-flight. This speed and range force Russia to rethink its entire setup. Supply hubs once safe must move back, airfields suddenly become vulnerable, and command posts are forced to scatter, making coordination harder. No single weapon wins a war, but Army Tactical Missile System gives Ukraine something priceless: the power to strike deep, disrupt Russia's plans, and turn once safe rear zones into dangerous ground. Enter the Precision Strike Missile. The Army Tactical Missile System is nearing retirement after 3 decades of service, making way for its sleeker, more capable successor, the Precision Strike Missile. Originally capped at 500 kilometers under the now-defunct INF Treaty, Precision Strike Missile can now fly farther, strike with greater accuracy, and adapt to future threats through modular upgrades. With the first units entering U.S. service in late 2023, Washington feels freer to send older Army Tactical Missile System to Ukraine, like upgrading to a new phone and passing the old one along, except this old phone can still blow up a runway hundreds of miles away. If you enjoyed diving into the secret history and surprising impact of the Army tactical missile, don't forget to hit that like and make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one.